Hello and welcome to the 5th episode of the Silver Screen Show. In tonight's episode, we have some big films with big names: Finding Dory, Star Trek, Jason Bourne, and of the like. I'm joined today by our usual hosts, the ever-sleek Abu Ali and the sweet-voiced Parama.
Thank you.
Guys.
Thank you. I'll pay you after the show for that compliment.
And it's lovely to have you lead us on today.
Thank you very much.
It's nice to take the back seat for once and let someone else
definitely.
drive the car.
Superman takes the back seat, I suppose. Anyway, we've had a busy summer of movie watching and we've got too many films to review today, so we've divided the films up tonight. And so without any further ado, let's get started. Guys, why don't we kick off with Disney's big-ticket summer blockbuster, Finding Dory, which is the direct sequel to the 2003 Finding Nemo, one of my all-time favorites.
13 years.
13 years indeed. Where we again come back to the happy family, Nemo and Marlin, and their good friend, and a bit forgettable, Finding Dory. Dory. And in this film, she's going off, she's suddenly remembered a few things, and she wants to find her parents. And thus the adventure begins across the Pacific. Abu, why don't you do us the honors and start saying us what you saw?
I shall take the honors. Right, we just watched this yesterday actually, me and Pam.
Yeah,
so it's kind of fresh in our mind. The main thing about this film is it's really enjoyable. It's just something you can watch and just, be happy about it. It's not going to disappoint you. It's not going to make you angry. It's just a fun film. And I think what worked really well for this is the Pixar, Disney charm is still there. All the animation have this, they have the good vibe of like adult humor and humor for the children, got the inner jokes, and it's got the...
When you say adult humor, you mean...
The jokes that, parents will pick up.
People will also find it funny.
Yeah, the jokes that parents will pick up rather than have been forced with their kids to watch. But also, at the same time, I think the casting for the show was amazing. The actors that they got involved in really nailed it, and I think that's what really sold all the characters and made you feel attached to them.
Yeah. Parama, do you agree?
I definitely agree. I would like to say that Disney brings a fresh breath of air with this amazing animated film. Surprisingly, I haven't watched Finding Nemo. I know everybody's going to kill me for that.
No,
because
not acceptable.
It takes you back to your childhood days, like you said,
yeah,
Finding
absolutely.
Nemo.
It's like all the old childhood films coming back. Pokemon has come back.
I'm on that.
Everything's come back. So back to Finding Dory. I think it's amazing. Like you summarized already, it's about a cute little fish who's got who's got a short-term memory loss. And it's about how she mysteriously loses her parents and then wanders from one ocean to another throughout the years and then successfully manages to find her parents at the end. It's amazing how the story revolves around her life and her emotions and everything. I would say the high point of the story is Hank the Octopus, the grouchily voiced octopus, and he's got a really nice.
He's like a grumpy old man kind of vibe to him. Yeah, it's just like
he's
seen
really
life
cool.
so much.
Exactly. Yeah, he just wants to get out of it.
Yeah, but he also wants to help everyone out, whoever falls in.
Kind-hearted.
Yeah, his exaggerated expressions are absolutely mesmerizing, and his I would say he's goofy and sly at the same time. So that makes you laugh. So it's a very light-hearted film. Like I would probably watch it again. It's one of those films I can repeatedly watch.
I thought it was a terrific film. I thought it was a terrific adventure film, and it really held the spirit of adventure intact. It's something very difficult to do, and you only see these things in like the Indiana Jones film, like the adventure films. Most films these days are just blockbuster action and things blowing up.
I feel one thing that I did was a bit skeptical about is do we really need a sequel after 13 years? It's just a cash-in. At the end of the day, they kind of worked out.
Do
that
you think it was a cash-in rather than?
Like, you had the fear that it could be a cash-in because films that come out of the blue, out of nowhere, didn't really ask for a sequel. But in this chance, it worked out well. I think
we should mention that Nemo was part of the film as well, so that fans of Nemo can go and
absolutely, and they're still the same age. Not 13 years later, they're
grown
old, grumpy Nemo
same boys,
with his grandchildren.
Same look.
No, I thought it was a great film. The only bad parts I would say about the film was sometimes the editing was a bit off. For example, when Dory meets her parents, I thought that scene wasn't done as well. Know how it transitions from her meeting her parents, love to see you again, and then goes on to how, we should find Marlin and Nemo. And her parents are also on board, whereas
like
if
they're
I were
waiting
lost
for
and my
years.
parents had found us, we're like, you're sitting down and I'm not going to make you eat.
But I think they were trying to show how the relations were built throughout the journey of finding the parents. So he got, the Marlin and Nemo, they got closer to Dory. I think that's what
absolutely. And the only other thing I would mention is I thought the older film was better because the older film had a sense of danger in it. That Nemo, a very small fish, out in the world, out in the human world. What's going to happen? How will Marlin ever go on top of the 2-story building?
Exactly. Whereas in this one, it's like Dory's like it's like a superhero. Everything happens. Everything works out. I'm gonna jump there. It works out.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You should talk about that funny duck, Becky.
Oh, the
Let's not reveal too much.
Let's go to the spoilers.
We're keeping this a spoiler-free review. So, 3-word reviews, guys.
Yeah.
Abu, why don't you start?
I'm gonna say it will leave you cheerful when you leave. Like just.
Is that 3 words?
You'll
leave you cheerful. Okay.
Yeah, that's good.
Nice one, yeah. My one is touching, sweet, and tender.
Oh, that really defines it very well. I would say Pixar does it again. Pixar is one of the best.
That's a good one.
Houses, animation houses.
This was not a Cars 2. This was more of
This
a
was
Wall-E.
Toy Story.
Exactly. Right.
No, I mean, you can compare it to Nemo anyway.
Of course,
Moving on to our next film. This one, myself and Pam, you have watched The Legend of Tarzan. Which is the 49th film.
Wow.
In
with
the series.
Tarzan in the
I've
silver
definitely
screen.
not watched all of them. Yeah.
No, I don't think I have. It will be too far back in the old ages. So this is directed by David Yates and stars Alexander Skarsgård and Margot Robbie. And Christoph Waltz as the, I think anyone can guess what he will be in the film. Pam, what did you think of it?
Okay, so let's go back to the summary of the story. So the story commences after Clayton, aka Tarzan. I mean, he's already a legend who's being raised by apes, and he goes back from his city life to the jungle, in the savannah, and he's captured in exchange of diamonds, and that's how the story is built. I love the way, I mean, I think we spoke about it before that this approach has been used in the previous versions. But I mean, I like it how they
city to the jungle.
To the jungle,
yeah. But they did a good take on it, didn't they?
Because they definitely did.
So, Abu, what happens is Tarzan is now Lord.
So it's not the usual origin story.
We
already know what happened. It was in the jungle. He grew up.
Exactly. So that was a refreshing take on it. So
and he's living in Greystoke Manor with his wife, Jane. So, but I would say, like I was expecting a little bit more from this film. In
terms of what?
Apart from the fact that he's completely toned and ripped, I mean, he's taking off his shirt. Great, yeah.
I didn't even notice it.
And Alexander Skarsgård, like I said, he played a really fierce role in one of the vampire series called True Blood. So I expected a little bit more fierceness from him in this film. So, but he was a little bit too tamed. So
he wasn't as visceral as you wanted. You wanted to be primal, basically.
Lord of the jungle, too tamed.
And since it's Tarzan, you would like to see a little bit of more color and vibrance throughout the film. But I would say, like, there was a lot of grayness in the film. I think.
Oh, you mean how the film was shot? It's the cinematography.
Yes, the CGI. The gorillas looked quite plain.
This is the thing that Hollywood has been doing since Zack Snyder, to be honest. That guy really just started off this.
Nothing to do with this.
So I would say they should have left the grayness in Greystoke Manor and then just put a little bit of color to the film. But anyway, I mean, they've done a good job. So I would say good effort. And Alexander Skarsgård, I mean, he looked the part. He did the part fine.
Did the part, didn't
and he's beaten like a lot of actors in who's done Tarzan before. So I think he's really done.
Yeah, that's amazing. I would say.
Yeah.
When I saw the trailer, I was like, this guy looks Tarzan.
Looks it. He looks the part.
That's just half the job, though, isn't it?
And I would say I really like the part where, it's part of the story in the film. Like, he shows the kids how he's on 4 paws. I mean, how he changes the shape.
And did you notice that throughout the film, he always had his paws bent?
So I think I did,
You mean his hands?
His paws.
hand/paws,
Just saying.
Exactly.
So
anyway,
the
only bad things I thought about the film was the villain was very generic.
Again,
like Christoph Waltz plays Christoph Waltz rather than another villain.
I agree.
Samuel Jackson's role, what did he actually do? Why was he there?
You mean are you saying it was an easy paycheck?
Well, kudos to him. He always livens up the film wherever he is in. But I didn't think it was really necessary for him to be there.
What do you think of Jane's character in the film?
Jane, I thought it was okay. It's not really a very difficult part to play. It didn't really have anything.
Damsel in distress.
Damsel in distress.
No, she wasn't actually. Okay. She wasn't at all. In fact, there was a part in the film where she says, "Should I scream? Do you want me to be a damsel in distress?" I'm not something like that. So, something around that line. So she's quite Tarzan's counterpart. Anyway, 3-word review.
3-word review from my side would be Tarzan too tamed.
Tarzan too tamed.
Could have been a little bit more wild.
Very brutal. Tarzan will be disappointed. For me, it was the three-word review would be well-intentioned but poorly executed. I thought there were many areas where they could have improved on the film. One of the ones that stands out the most is how the resolution came about with the tribal chief who wanted to catch Tarzan. Just because Tarzan said, "Oh, I didn't mean to kill your child," he's okay, fine, I'll let you go now. It just didn't work. But yeah, that's that for Tarzan. Let's move on to our next film, Ghostbusters. Abu, you're the only one among us.
Am I the only one? So I'll take center stage here.
Yeah, do the honors.
Yeah, I'll blaze through this one. It's not. Well, basically, everyone knows what this film's about. It's got so much attention on the internet, and everyone knows all about it. You know, a bunch of guys or girls actually.
What actually happens? Is it a continuation
It's
from the old
not really.
film?
It's kind of a mix. So you got a group of scientists who get together, and they find out this technology, and they go up. You know, it's got callbacks to the original. It's got hints and stuff, but it's not a total.
And where did they come from? What happened to the old cast?
Oh, they have little cameos, but they're not actually playing themselves. So it's kind of weird cameos in a sense they have. So they have Bill Murray show up.
So are we supposed to have a suspension of disbelief that these are the original characters, or they are completely new characters who
It
are
doesn't really
also
explain
ghosts?
it too much
Oh, they
because the way they don't believe ghosts is the way that, like in the film, the ghosts are frowned upon. That don't exist. You're crazy.
Ghosts are what?
If they say the ghosts don't exist, so that you're crazy for believing all your supernatural
really?
stuff.
Okay.
But if the first film did exist in this timeline, they would know what happened. So I think it's a brand new kind of thing.
So it's sort of a reboot rather than a sequel.
Kind of like the cartoon series that.
Yeah, in a sense, yeah. So I mean, if I go through this, it's not as bad as people say it is. I mean, it's a decent film. I mean, Kirsten Wiig and Melissa McCarthy really work well together. They really gel, and they
really are first class.
Yeah, the main humor comes from them, you know, and they work. And also Chris Hemsworth, every scene he's in, he steals it. Like every time he came on, everyone in the theater was laughing because he just nails that, you know, ditzy.
What does he play?
He's a ditzy secretary.
Oh,
so
he's the blonde.
So he's a kind of reverse. And the fact he knows he's hot, so he kind of always plays upon that as well. So, yeah, but I mean, on the downside, there was nothing new. There really was any need for this. Like I said before, like the Nemo sequel, this came out and people weren't really like, why is this coming out?
You're not buying into the Hollywood sequel.
No, and it didn't really, you know, work out. I mean, it didn't really improve it. And the villain in the film, I'm saying show, the villain in the film, he was really weak. Like, he had no reason to be the villain, and when whatever happens to him in the film, you don't really even feel any connection to him. You don't hate him. It's like, just go away. You're annoying.
Tell me one thing though.
Yeah.
Is the original song still there?
Yeah, but it's remixed, and it's not bad. If you like the current taste of music, it's got that.
I think I'm okay with that.
I'm
okay with that. Yeah.
And I think the bad thing was the cameos. They kind of wasted them. So I think, I mean, it didn't disappoint me. I went in there, I watched it.
I suppose they tried to mix it up a bit.
Yeah, exactly. And I think if I had reviewed it quickly, I would say internet overreacted a bit too much.
They did, didn't they?
Overreacted much.
Of flack.
Yeah, it doesn't deserve the flack it got, but it also at the same time, it's not direct. You know, it was like Ant-Man. It came out of nowhere and impressed everyone. It's just.
So would you say, if you went blind into this film without knowing the backlash it got from the internet, would you say it's a good film?
It would keep me, you know, it would keep you happy. You wouldn't really bother too much about it. But yeah,
all right.
Not very memorable. Let's move on.
Good enough. Our next film is one that, Pam, you have taken a look at. Now You See Me 2.
Yeah.
What do you think of it?
I'd say this is a fun film. It's got its twists and surprises. Like, it's really good. And I mean, it's a light-hearted holiday film, like where you can. I've watched it with my family. You can watch it with everyone. So it's got hidden surprises, and you know, it's well put together. So these are the pros I'm talking about. It's got more cons, yeah. But I mean, yeah, it's a good time pass film, and it brings a smile on your face. Like, hey, what's happening next? I mean, yeah, it's got those moments, and you know, it's got some really nice magic tricks. Let me emphasize on some. Yeah. So those are the good
at least
parts
there's
of the
something
film.
magic. Any bad points about the film?
Yeah, I'm coming to the cons now. So I would say that the sequel is a little bit tepid, and you know, it's shot in the beautiful city of Macau, which is meant to be again like lively and full of
bright
colors.
lights.
And most of it is shot there. I wouldn't go back into the story, like, you know. Okay, I can just summarize a little bit that the horsemen, they were taken back to. They go to Macau. They just go through a pipe hole, and then they think that, you know, the pipe hole's taken them to Macau, but they were actually kidnapped, and they were like, you know, chloroformed. And,
are you saying too much about the film?
Yeah. It's a little bit of spoiler. We're giving a little bit of spoilers anyway. So Macau, as much as colorful as it sounds, but again, you know, it's a bit dull. I mean, you know, there are basically It's quirky, and the characters are really nice as well
Are they?
throughout the film. The casting is great, so you would expect a lot.
But it's the
coming
same
from the
cast
film.
though, right?
Yeah. I mean, but there are some. Mark Ruffalo's there. I mean, it's got a good cast and everything. So, but the magic tricks sometimes leave you in question, like, what's really happening? Is it an illusion? Is it magic?
That's the one thing that I don't know. The first one, like, did they have superpowers or did they not? Just clear it up. You know, they did these
Yeah.
tricks and they never explain how they do them.
Yeah.
So, you
So I would say that interesting ideas were produced, but then dropped suddenly.
So what's your
And Daniel Radcliffe, Harry Potter.
really? Here's a cameo.
He's a Batman. Yes, I mean he's a
He's a
bad
Batman.
Bad guy in the film. Yeah. So he's not the horseman. He's a Batman. And I mean his character was taken up really nicely, but then kind of takes
So
a
it's not
plunge.
as good as the
So-
previous one then.
No, I wouldn't say it's
What
as
would your
good.
three-word review be then?
My 3-word review is gonna be magic, illusion, or CGI.
Probably more CGI. Yeah, I think we can objectively agree to that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Perfect. The next film in our lineup is Jason Bourne.
Jason
This is the one that I saw just yesterday, because it just came up in the UK. This is directed by Paul Greengrass and casts, I'm not going to keep you in surprise, Matt Damon.
Matt Damon.
This really, this technically is the 5th film in the series.
After
But
the
if you
forgettable
follow
fourth
Matt
one.
Damon's
Yeah.
Jason Bourne, it is the 4th. And it follows on from the previous film. So Bourne is, again, out hunting to figure out what's going on.
Running
and
away
the
from the
CIA
CIA.
and the FBI, everyone's chasing him. The only other thing is he now remembers a few things, and he wants to identify the people who are responsible for starting up the whole chain in the beginning. So highlights of the film, other than it being Jason Bourne, is that there are lots of great action sequences, really
Yeah.
thrilling,
That's-
really well done.
That's
and
what was the great thing with the original film is so intense and like you know,
Yeah.
violent.
Absolutely,
The action.
and they keep on that visceral intensity of action, and anyone going to a Bourne film for this will be fully satisfied. There are some fantastic car sequences, like car chase
The chases.
sequences. In the beginning, there's a motorcycle bike chase, which is amazing.
Sounds
In the
like
end,
a guy's
there's
film
another.
to me.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
very easy. You wouldn't take a date there.
No, you wouldn't.
It probably is to the traditional.
So I think the main question is, if you're gonna make this quick, is he as good as the first 3? Like, does he stand up?
I would say no.
No.
I would say this is the weakest of the 3 Jason Bourne films.
Oh, I see.
Okay.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean it's a
Yeah.
bad film. There are fantastic performances given by Alicia Vikander, for example. She's fantastic in the film. I'm already a fan. But the
Oh, she's got an Oscar
but the
already.
movie
You know?
you watch it, you watch the movie, you think that, hey, I've actually seen this before, so
Yeah.
why are you doing
Same
this?
stuff.
Again, coming back to your same point, why so many sequels?
Yeah.
Did you really need to make it?
So
So my 3-word review will be thrilling action, but meh.
Does it
Meh.
count?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, but
Meh.
meh.
okay.
Yeah, it really
Leave
is.
it there.
That's a very good description for a lot of things coming out these
I don't
days.
think the producers behind the scene will be too happy with that review.
No, I mean, I
what we meant to do.
I really like Matt Damon and Paul
Yeah.
Greengrass. I think they are a fantastic team, but
Yeah.
hey, it's not always
Right.
doesn't
so-
it's sometimes hit and miss, right?
Yeah.
So our next film in the series is Central Intelligence.
Ooh,
Myself, Abu, and myself, we have watched this,
Yeah.
and this is directed by Rosen Marshall Tober, and it stars Dwayne Johnson
Dwayne
and Kevin
Johnson.
Hart.
Yeah.
Abu, what did you think?
I don't know. I mean, to be honest, it's probably not much to say about it. I mean, most of the film scenes are in the trailer. If you saw the trailer, you saw the film.
I've got a question.
Yeah.
Can you explain the scene where he's the fat boy?
Basically, he was fat and he got bullied at school,
Yeah.
and now he's
That's
insecure about his
fine.
body. That's
Yeah.
pretty much it.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, the film, Kevin Hart and The Rock, they bring it. They do their stuff. You know, the film works. So, like the good things is because of those two guys. They do their shtick. It works. But apart from that, the film is like overly too long. It's 2 hours long. No, for no need.
Yeah, and for no
I
reason.
see.
It
No
didn't
reason.
need to be an action sequence, action comedy. It never
Yeah.
needs to be that long.
And this whole edgy, like, is he good? Is he bad? There's this whole other side. There's like some Jason Bourne kind of side, like, is The Rock? Is he a good character? Is he a bad
Well-
character? Is he a mole? Like, there's no need for this. Like, it's
Yeah,
just,
but I'm pretty sure everyone
yeah, you
realized who
he's
the
gonna
main
be
villain is.
Exactly.
There wasn't any
Yeah,
real
so I mean-
in the
suspense.
film?
Well, there is,
Okay.
yeah, I mean, the action comedy, you have to have a villain.
Right,
But the
yeah.
villain is very well understood who
Yeah.
it is.
To be honest, yeah, I think the trailer was a lot more. Trailer was a lot funnier than the film itself. I
Trailer was
think.
funnier.
The only reason I really watched it is because of the two main
Yeah,
stars.
the trailer
Yeah.
really captivated me.
I mean, so if I can sum it up, I'll just say stars over substance. It's the stars who sold it. The film really wasn't very.
Oh, the stars was the substance.
Yeah,
There was
stars. Yeah,
really
exactly.
more
They didn't
to
really
it
focus
than
much on the film.
Yeah,
so-
I mean, I agree in large part to what you just said. I thought the film started off with a lot of promise, partly because of what the trailer had, but then
boring.
It just failed on so many times. I
Yeah.
thought, this is not really a good. It's not really. It's not
Just
really
say
a
it.
good comedy. Yeah, the thing is, many times I had the feeling that this could have been a straight to DVD film.
Yeah.
Like it didn't have the
It's like a
polish.
Seth Rogen
and-
kind of film, you know. It's like a film Seth Rogen would make.
Maybe. Yeah. I mean,
So
Seth
you-
Rogen is good in himself anyway.
You ready?
But my 3-word review would be, it's forgettable and non-intelligent for someone that
it?
has
Whoa,
intelligence
See what I did there.
Oh,
in the name.
that's a shame.
Right.
But yeah, moving on. Our next lineup is Star Trek Beyond.
Star Trek Beyond.
Abu,
Okay.
you have taken a look at this.
Yes,
a huge
I know
summer
we're kind of running
blockbuster.
low on time, so we're gonna have to kind of burn for it. But
Please do.
overall, I loved it. I think it's such a great film. It's probably the best film I watched in this month.
This is
And
the
there's a
last in
lot-
the trilogy, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's the final one of the, well, not the final, but the third in the trilogy of films. So it follows Captain Kirk and Spock flying around, crashing on a planet.
It's all going over my head. But
Yeah. So then basically the Enterprise gets, it crashes on a planet and they have to kind of get off it.
Right.
So, I mean, what I liked about it is the fact the film took place in the wilderness. So they're out on their own and they have to discover a new planet. You got that vibe of discovery and adventure. Whereas Into Darkness is more just aboard the ship and aboard space colonies and so you don't really get that same sense of grandeur which this film gives. So I like that
that's
side of it.
Yeah.
And also gave
It's
a
a
bit...
Hostile planet as well. I
Exactly,
imagine.
of course, the hostile will make a nice planet where they come on and they
Of
have
course,
some
yeah.
tea and milk. So, yeah, so I like that part. I also like the fact they got a lot more, all the characters like Bones, the Doctor, and Scotty got a chance to really flesh themselves up because they're stuck on their own. So they kind of have to have a bit more camera time. So kind of develop a bigger attraction to these characters. And also, I think the addition of the new character, Jayla, was great. I mean, it's always tricky to add a new character to big series like this. She's like a badass
Would you say
female.
that he or she was the highlight of the film?
And like I said, she was one of the best things about the film because like adding a new character to this franchise
Always
like
a
this,
risk, isn't
exactly.
it?
But she was one of the funny parts. Like she was a very funny character. There's no nonsense, so it kind of worked out really well. And I also got to mention one thing. I think one of the guy who played Chekhov, the actor, passed away or actually died in an
Of
accident.
course, yeah.
It was a bit disappointing
was
to
his
see.
last.
Yeah, it was. And but it's nice to
He
see
was
he went.
such a lovely character, wasn't he?
He was. I loved him. So it's nice to see his last role was really something really positive and fun about him. So hopefully, you'll get a lot more, like posthumously, people will respect the work he did. And also Leonard Nimoy passed away since the last film. He got a little nod as well. Technology is passing as well.
perfect.
So overall, it was a great film to watch. You'll love it. If you love space and
I'm
explosion
definitely going to
stuff.
watch it. I'm a big Star
Oh,
Trek
yeah,
fan,
definitely
but I
watch
just
it.
never had the chance to watch
Yeah,
this.
and I'll sum it up.
3 words.
Best one yet of the trilogy.
Best one yet of the trilogy.
trilogy,
That's
yeah.
saying
Wow.
something, mate. That's
Yeah.
great because the other 2 films are also pretty good.
Yeah, of course.
Perfect. So now for something a bit different.
And the finale of the
We
show.
are the finale of the show. We're
Yeah.
going back into the Bollywood scenario.
Back home.
Pam, you're taking a look at Sultan, directed
Oh,
by
yes.
Alia Bazafar and starring our favorite
Who else?
con-
The king, no, the Sultan of Bollywood.
Sultan of Bollywood, Salman Khan
Salman
and Anushka
Khan.
Sharma. What did you think?
So
Give
it's
us a
the
brief
second-
description.
Yeah.
Yes, I will summarize a little bit and would give about the perks. I would talk about the perks of the film. And this is the second time I'm actually reviewing a Bollywood film. The first one was
You're a Bollywood correspondent.
I watch once in a while, and the first one was fun, and there's a huge difference between that one and this one because, first of all, this one's a blockbuster hit. Not that that one wasn't, but it didn't do quite well in the box office. And I'd like to say that once again, Salman Khan has hit the 300 crore club because this is how it rolls in Bollywood. So they've got the crores, 100, 200, 300.
Alright.
So it's almost 300 crores with this.
Like going
almost
platinum.
90 plus crores.
Is that like 30 million?
Yes, and
Somewhere around
it's a
30
lot of
million.
money, that's all I can say. So he's got a lot of fans throughout the world.
So, what did you like about it?
So what did I like about it? I'll just go back to the story. So it's the story is about lives of 2 sportsmen. One of them is Sultan, played by Salman Khan, and the other is Arfa, played by Anushka Sharma,
Right.
and who later on plays the role of his wife. So the story
So
revolves
Arfa
around...
is a female
Arfa is
sportsperson.
yes, I was just going to say, she's a female wrestler in the film. And
That's a different take.
it is a
Yeah.
different
It's
take.
not
It's a
normally what
fresh
you see in
take.
Bollywood.
Exactly. So the story revolves around how Sultan tries to win over Arfa's love
Right.
by taking up taking up interest in wrestling because Arfa is in wrestling.
So
in-
he wants to get beat up every day so that he
By
can
his
be
wife.
with them.
So basically,
Basically, he wants to
He
he doesn't
defend
become
it.
a wrestler to be the best. He becomes a wrestler to get the girl. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, there has to be
Yeah,
a little bit of
of course,
Bollywood and
romance,
Bollywood, right?
yeah.
So basically, yeah, this is what
Bollywood
this
in Bollywood.
but still, it's not too like it's not the typical kind. So he ends up like in this whole thing where he tries to win Arfa by taking up wrestling. He ends up being the world famous wrestling champion. And it also like tells us how he loses so many precious things in his life in this journey,
Right.
like being like power and fame, being involved with
Of course,
power and fame, how it makes.
So it's a real life story as well.
It's
so,
a true.
yeah.
It's based on true story. Yeah.
Great way to move the focus from the girl.
Yeah,
to
so-
the
Salma Khan.
Exactly. So the story. It talks about how this like fame and power and everything makes him realize that he's losing the most important things in his life, and how his wife again comes back in his life and makes him realize that giving up the sports that he was born to play is not the way. Like he's going to achieve those things back. And
Inspiring.
Then, it's quite
Very
inspiring.
Any dance scenes in the wrestling ring?
Loads of no, not in the wrestling
I'm
ring,
disappointed.
but there are loads of dance scenes. I'd like to say a few bad things about the film. That it's not really bad. You guys might think it's good because they didn't put focus on the romance. But I would say, the love wasn't bloomed properly in the film. So it's like, he just gets into.
Bollywood love is already blooming quite big anyway.
Normally it takes a long time for the guy to get the girl, like and then
It's like
get married to the girl. But
it's like in
in
the
this
Rocky
case-
film where it takes a few films
Yeah.
to even propose. like,
Exactly.
whereas this one, they're like,
This one's like, get to the point, let's get married, and then back to wrestling. So they put the focus on wrestling, which I
suppose that's
enjoyed.
a good thing, yeah.
Yeah, it's all about
I'll
the
say it's a
sport.
welcome break from what
It is.
Bollywood always
Standard,
focuses
yeah.
on the romance.
Definitely,
and
and Zafar's done a big, great job because he's tamed Salman's overpowering persona. I mean, not that he doesn't take his shirt off again. So he's done it, and he's really built up his body. It looks great.
no sexism there.
But then again, he becomes a pot-bellied middle-aged man in between. So they show all the stages in his
Okay,
life.
so to wrap up, what would
Yes.
be a 3-word review?
So my 3-word review is going to be Salman is Sultan of Bollywood. Yeah.
Of
yeah.
Bollywood. Shah Rukh Khan.
I'm still for Shah Rukh Khan.
Being fan, but I'm not being biased because I'm a Salman fan. But yeah, he is.
Fair enough.
He's a good man. I think that wraps it up. All our 8 films. It was
Bumper
a
show.
blast going through all of them. Thank you very much for joining us again. We had a great time watching the films. I hope you enjoyed the show as much as we did making it. We hope you'll join us again in our next episode. Please do leave a comment or any ideas you have about our show. We'll be glad to incorporate it and see you in the next episode. Thank you.